My name is Daisy Day, and I'm from the U.S. Medical Affairs at Sarepta. One of my roles at Sarepta is to support studies that obtain real-world data. Before I begin my presentation, I would like to first thank PPMD for giving Sarepta the opportunity to speak directly to the patient and caregiver community about real-world data and its importance to the medical community. In this presentation, I will explain what real-world data is, how it's different from data collected during clinical trials, and why it is so important. Additionally, I will discuss Sarepta's ongoing registry study, which uses and analyzes real-world data collected from patients undergoing treatment for Duchenne with eteplirsen or golodirsen. Lastly, I will share information on how you and your child can contribute to real-world data. So what is real-world data? As the name suggests, real-world data is health-related information that is commonly reported and collected during a patient's visit with their healthcare providers. These real-world data can take many forms, such as patients' electronic health records or their hospital and pharmacy claims, registry data, or data generated from a patient while wearing a health tracking device. After these data have been collected and analyzed, these real-world data can provide valuable information to healthcare professionals and may reveal previously unknown benefits or risks associated with FDA-approved therapies and treatments. A common question that is frequently asked is, what are the differences between real-world data and data collected for a clinical trial? There are, in fact, very important differences in the information that is collected for these two purposes. As I'm sure you are aware, the goal of conducting a randomized controlled clinical trial on a newly developed therapy is to determine if that therapy is effective, safe, and to ultimately obtain approval by the FDA. In order to minimize variability in the data collected for a clinical trial, strict exclusion criteria such as outside of a specific age range, a certain gender, or being certain weight can all exclude you from being enrolled in a clinical trial. Lastly, because clinical trials are closely monitored, compliance or the patient's adherence to the trial's protocol is usually very high. Based on all these restrictions, the data collected for a clinical trial may not do a good job of reflecting the overall patient population, and unforeseen benefits or risks may be missed before the drug is approved. Real-world data picks up where clinical trial data ends. Real-world data collection begins after the FDA approves a particular therapy, and this is to continue to monitor the impact the therapy has as it is being administered to a wider patient population. And because there are fewer, if any, exclusionary criteria limiting the collection of real-world data, this information captures a broader range of the population undergoing treatment and provides insights into how the broader patient population responds to the treatment over time in the clinic setting. This real-world data is invaluable to healthcare providers, researchers, the FDA, and most importantly, the patients themselves. Real-world data are important because they allow physicians and researchers to obtain high-quality clinical and safety data among a broader cohort of patients. These data can lead to a deeper understanding of how the treatment works in a wide variety of patients and whether they are unintended risks or benefits associated with the treatment and other variables that may have been missed during the clinical trial. In addition, the FDA can also use real-world data to monitor safety and adverse events after the drug has been approved, and then use these data to make regulatory decisions. The healthcare community may also use real-world data to support insurance coverage decisions and to develop guidelines for use in clinical practice. Lastly, and most importantly, real-world data provides valuable insight that may help patients currently undergoing treatment or who may need treatment in the future. In order to collect and analyze real-world data for patients with Duchenne that are being treated with eteplirsen or golodirsen, Sarepta has set up a long-term real-world data collection registry called the EVOLVE Registry. Our EVOLVE Registry is designed to be an observational study, which means that the real-world data collected are generated during patients' routine clinical care. The patients that are currently enrolled in the EVOLVE Registry will be followed for at least 5 years, and the study focuses on collecting data that are normally generated during a patient's routine visit with their physicians. These data include diagnosis and mutation type, treatment regimens, management of care, and clinical tests. Additionally, the EVOLVE Registry collects data on various assessments made by the patient's physicians, such as adverse events, loss of ambulation, pulmonary function, and neuromuscular function. Once we are able to gather these data from enrolled patients, it will then be analyzed periodically over the 5 years and also at the end of the study. As I mentioned before, the EVOLVE Registry was designed as an observational study, which means that the data collected are generated during the patient's routine clinical care. The data collected will not interfere or add to the existing care of the patient. For patients who have already initiated eteplirsen or golodirsen prior to their enrollment in the EVOLVE Registry, some of their data will be obtained from their medical history. Once enrolled, data for the EVOLVE Registry will be collected from the information recorded by the patient's treating physician on an ongoing basis. All that is needed to participate in the EVOLVE Registry is to sign a consent form, which allows Sarepta to collect this real-world data and to keep seeing your treating physician as you normally would. There are no additional clinical visits to worry about and no additional tests that need to be taken as it relates to this registry. The data collected and analyzed for the EVOLVE Registry will provide valuable real-world data for current and future patients receiving eteplirsen or golodirsen, and may provide valuable insights into how to maximize the clinical care of other patients with Duchenne. If you and your child are interested in contributing to the EVOLVE Registry and are currently being treated with eteplirsen or golodirsen at one of the 16 hospitals and clinics shown here, please reach out to your treating physician and express your interest. Your participation in Sarepta's EVOLVE Registry will provide valuable real-world data for current and future Duchenne patients. Thank you all very much for your time.